Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Thursday, July 18th, 2024. A moving truck caught fire and rolled across the neighborhood, threatening homes in 29 Palms. Yesterday at around 10:20 a.m., County Fire received a report of a moving truck that had caught fire at a home on Mojave Avenue near Gorgonio Avenue in 29 Palms. County Fire arrived to find a well-involved engine fire that was spreading into the truck's cargo space. They were joined by a crew from the Marine base, and during their efforts, the truck began leaking fuel down the driveway, which caused the fire to spread. County Fire reports that the moving truck then rolled across the street and into a neighbor's wooden fence. As more homes became threatened by this turn of events, additional engines were called in. The fire was extinguished with minimal damage to the home. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation. The High Desert's county fire crews have a new leader, as Bill Villarino has been appointed Assistant Fire Chief, overseeing the South Desert area of San Bernardino County. The appointment was made yesterday by County Fire Chief Dan Muncy. Chief Villarino will oversee the County South Desert Division 4, which encompasses much of the Mojave Desert and the entirety of the Morongo Basin, excluding Morongo Valley. That includes the town of Yucca Valley, communities of Joshua Tree, and 29 Palms. Chief Villarino has served as a firefighter since 1997, beginning in the Hesperia Fire Department, which transitioned to the San Bernardino County Fire Department. He most recently served as a battalion chief in our community. In his new role, Chief Villarino will oversee the operational readiness and strategic initiatives of Division 4. He will work closely with local officials and residents to address the unique challenges of the Morongo Basin. Joshua Tree National Park Ranger Anna Marini has earned a top award for creating a program that successfully educates visitors and prevents disasters. Reporter Heather Clisby has more.
To educate and assist some of the 3.27 million visitors exploring Joshua Tree National Park annually, JTNP Ranger Anna Marini created the Preventative Search and Rescue Program, which places trained volunteers on the trail to answer questions directly, or even ask crucial ones like, do you have enough water? The PSAR program has proven so effective that Marini has won the Director's Visitor Safety Achievement Award, a high honor from the National Park Service for her, quote, outstanding dedication, commitment, and achievements to reducing risk to visitors and preventing serious and fatal visitor injuries.
This is definitely, an amazing award to receive from the Director of the National Park Service. I'm looking forward to going to the Washington office next month to accept the award and meet the director, which is really neat.
Marini created the PSAR program in 2021 and expanded it last year after seeing an increase in heat-related search and rescues. The volunteers offer safety tips, strategies on heat illness prevention, and all aspects of park-wide trail information.
It's getting a lot of traction out on PSAR in general. People are understanding preparedness, they're asking questions about it, and it's exciting that people are interested in the topic of how to enjoy Joshua Tree safely.
Since that expansion, PSAR has accrued 3,100 volunteer hours, contacted over 83,000 park visitors during 566 patrols. Notably, the team documented 13,200 preventative actions where volunteers prevented unsafe visitor behavior through face-to-face education. With triple-digit temperatures, volunteers are on high alert.
Luckily, our visitation has gone down a little bit, but there are still folks recreating. So with the volunteers and then with the signage I've created and even things like putting up physical thermometers for people to see the actual temperature, it's really made a difference in people's experience in the park.
Additionally, Marini is helping the NPS develop 2 PSAR position descriptions for nationwide use, and other park units develop PSAR programs of their own. Marini states that a couple of the 30 PSAR volunteers have retired, so she will be recruiting more. The volunteer application period will be mid-August through mid-September, and interested folks can go to volunteer.gov and search for PSAR and for Joshua Tree Search and Rescue. For more about the PSAR program, look for the link in this story at Z107.7FM.com. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
A few roads are still closed, but the city of 29 Palms is making headway in their recovery efforts from the sudden storm over the weekend. As of last night, Adobe Road remains closed between Raymond Drive and Amboy Road as crews continue to remove mud and debris from the area. There are additional closures at Bullion Mountain Road north of Amboy Road and Baghdad Highway north of Amboy Road. The city is providing 2 trash bins for residents to use as disposal sites for flood waste. The first is behind City Hall, located at 6136 Adobe Road. The second is along Encilia Avenue, immediately south of Samarkand Drive, in front of the cemetery. Public lands means access to natural lands and preserves for everyone, including those with disabilities. Picking it up from here is online news editor Robert Hayden.
July is Disability Pride Month, celebrated since 1990 when the American Disabilities Act, or ADA, was passed into law, which prohibits discrimination based on a disability. It's the ADA and ADA compliance, a regulation that creates equal access to public spaces such as sidewalks, parks, libraries, and government offices. It also extends to all of our public lands, like Joshua Tree National Park here in the high desert, and state parks like Mount San Jacinto down the hill. That means the park's ranger stations, bathrooms, museums, and light nature trails all need to be ADA compliant as well, giving everybody equitable access to information and facilities that allow us to get up close with nature. But the closer to nature you get, the more varied the terrain, meaning that it's up to the hiker with a disability to decide if the trail is right for them. On Joshua Tree National Park's website, they have a page with information on accessibility for its visitor centers, nature trails, campgrounds, and other facilities. Each feature and trail also has a description of the general terrain you may encounter, but any specifics regarding what you may encounter in the park should be directed at the always helpful park rangers. The Cholla Gardens has an elevated boardwalk that allows folks who need even terrain to get up close and personal with some of the best blooms in the basin. That feature is at the top of an All Trails list of the best wheelchair-accessible spots in the park. The California State Park newsletter highlighted Mount San Jacinto for its interpretive panels with touchable elements that they say provides those with visual impairments a way to get a sensory experience of their conifer forests. I also spoke with State Park aide David Diaz, who said,
Stone Creek Campground has a 1-mile panorama point loop trail that's ADA graded and ADA accessible.
I checked out their website to see exactly what that meant and found helpful information on the trail's average width, terrain type, and elevation changes. They also have a separate page with accessibility information for all the state parks in California. Our public lands were created to preserve the nature contained on them, and it gives us access to a wilderness that existed long before we arrived here. Thanks to the ADA and the national and state parks that are working to create equitable access, more people can get up close to that wilderness and all that it contains. We'll have all the links I mentioned at this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
And finally, local veteran outreach nonprofit Milltree is having an open call for artist submissions for their upcoming show, There to Hear, Military and Veteran Expressions at the 29 Palms Visitor Center this fall. Reporter Gabriel Hart briefs us on who is eligible to submit and what kind of art they're seeking for this showcase.
This is a unique opportunity to explore the creative expressions of active duty military, veterans, and their families as they share their personal journeys and the impact of military service on the lives and those around them. To participate in the exhibit, each artist must be current or past member of U.S. Armed Forces, the Reserve Corps of the U.S. Armed Forces, the National Guard, or a family member affected by their loved one's service. This will be an exhibit of the art with accompanying words written by the artist, showcasing visual art from 2D, 3D, and sculpture. For 2D works, maximum size is 20 inches high by 30 inches wide. 3D works must be easily movable and fit on a pedestal. Sculptures may not exceed 36 inches and no more than 40 pounds. Deadline for submission is August 18th, 2024. For contact information to submit, please visit the story at Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Gabriel Hart.
That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmatz.